Hello, everybody. My name is Caitlin Tapia Bindram, and I am a Communication Studies major. Now, although I am a comm major, I will admit I am a little awkward when it comes to giving presentations, so hopefully this goes as smoothly as it did in my head. Now, today I will be discussing the association between money and happiness, in which I hypothesize that more money equals more happiness, and vice versa. A decrease in money will equal a decrease in happiness. I will admit that at the beginning of this semester, I found this topic a bit silly, but there's such profound research on this topic that I was able to find some really interesting data. The first being with Acnin in 2018, who found that money and happiness do correlate with one another, and more money equals more happiness, but only in specific settings. So, for example, if you go out to eat at a restaurant, or if you go on vacation, or even if you routinely go to Starbucks and buy your coffee every day. I know that's something that definitely increases my happiness because without caffeine, I am absolutely crazy. But also when you're able to buy things that really correspond with your values. So, for example, say you're an extrovert and you buy a ticket to a concert, that's something that's going to bring you great happiness. So similarly, in 2014, Guinan found that more money equals more happiness when you are spending in social events and around a large variety of people. This socialization will really increase the amount of money you spend, but will also make you a lot happier. However, I did find some contradictions to my hypothesis, particularly by Boyce in 2017, who found that although more money can mean more happiness, this happiness is so minimal that it doesn't even matter. As previously mentioned, my hypothesis is as someone has more money, they will also be happier, and as that money potentially lessens, their happiness will lessen along with it, which is a positive relationship since both the independent and dependent variables move with one another. Also, sorry if it sounds choppy, my laptop is making me pause between each slide. Even though we were really limited on our time in conducting our experiments, I was able to find interesting findings from what I gathered. The first being that only 2 participants who took my survey found that they don't get happiness when spending money on experiences. Rather, they find fulfillment in being able to purchase material items, which was really interesting to note because most of the literature I found noted this correlation between money and happiness in the aspect of buying experiences, not really buying tangible items. However, I did find that a large majority, 87.5% of my respondents, reported that they found great fulfillment in being able to spend their money on giving to charities or giving to somebody in need. So whenever they had that excess amount of money, they knew that they would find enjoyment in being able to share it with others. I also really enjoyed interviewing my interviewee because they did see this correlation between money and happiness and did also agree that more money equals more happiness, but more so in the aspect that it reduces your stress levels. So, for example, if you have more money in your bank account, you're going to be less stressed, which I find to be true for myself. Because if I have money, I know I can go and eat some Chick-fil-A for lunch. Although this seems like such a minimal micro level thing, this is something that can really impact somebody's day. In class, we learned that it is crucial to have a diverse population set, which I found to be my biggest limitation. Since we are a Hispanic serving university, most of my respondents identified as Hispanic or Latino, which really hindered my ability to see if the correlation I found between money and happiness holds true against different racial and ethnic lines. Similarly, having such a small sample size really makes me question if the data I gathered was adequate because this might all be due to chance since many of my respondents have similar backgrounds. Due to this, I believe it is imperative that future research really includes a larger amount of volunteers and respondents, and they look further into the impact of money and happiness in different structural levels or in more societal factors that can come into play. So, for example, how does money really impact somebody's overall well-being? We are almost to the finish line. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your semester.